Bam.
Hello.
Right at the last minute. Do you guys like my Phil the Werewolf shirt? Have you guys heard about Phil the Werewolf? Wait. It says, hold on. It says, come and take me. Phil the Werewolf is in Piqua, Ohio, which is very close to us. And Phil was left up after Halloween. And the lady who owns Phil, all of her neighbors were very upset that she left her werewolf up because he was considered a seasonal decoration for Halloween. So she has decided to start dressing him up for all the holidays so that he applies for other, applies to other seasons as well. Right now he has like a red, white, and blue little shirt holding a little American flag for 4th of July. And there was so much public outcry that it was decided that Phil could stay. And now people travel to go see Phil the Werewolf. That's 2023. Is that autumn? I guess it is 2023.
Search 2023. It says early 2023.
No, you need to search autumn. So today we are going to be going over Etsy's 2023 autumn market insights. I've got it in our Trello board.
Yeah, I was about to say, because this is not going to give it to me.
Yeah, that's fine. Just go into our Trello and it's right at the top of the Friday Bean episodes. We usually go through these trend guides with you just because a lot of the time it's hard to get ideas when you're just reading an Etsy article, and we understand that. And through these, examples together and being able to talk through these trends, I think that they give a lot of great ideas. However, this is not the only trend video that we're going to be doing this season. I just published one on Tuesday where I am showing all of the different trends that we're seeing over through Bath and Body Works, which a lot of you guys might think, oh, that's for scents. I don't sell anything scented, but it's not scents. In fact, most of it is visual, and most of it is going to apply to artists who do visual content like print on demand, for example, or artwork, and definitely jewelry as well, if you can find ways to incorporate them in. But for example, one of the things that we're noticing over at Bath and Body Works with their upcoming fall collection is they have all of these Halloween themed products with snakes and roses around the snakes. And then if we look at recent book cover trends, right? And because book talk and Bookstagram is huge right now, a lot of the book covers that are releasing also have snakes with roses around them. So if we think about that, well, all of these different candle holders and air fresheners and things like that are getting released by Bath and Body Works, the people in the book talk community are going to be buying these products to put on their bookshelves to match their books that also have snakes and roses. So it's kind of how you can look at these trends in an abstract way and run with them in unique ways and begin identifying how different trends can be universally posted, because the people at Bath and Body Works are really smart. They do a lot of research before they launch collections, because essentially a lot of the things that Bath and Body Works releases are the same scents over and over, but in different jars. So what they have to do is change the artwork on the jar to make it seem like an all new fun product. And then, for example, if you have a favorite candle that comes out every Halloween, you're wondering what the jar is going to look like this year. So there's lots of cool ways to look at different business models and explore their trends and still be able to apply them to any product. I actually had somebody who replied yesterday to the video with the Bath and Body Works trends, and they asked, how can this apply to digital products? I'm like, all of this can apply to digital products. You just have to think abstractly about it and find ways that it will fit with your product, because a lot of what we talked about was visual content and design. So we are probably good to...
Somebody said, is your sound super quiet, or is it me? I'm thinking it's you, because we're coming out the same audio that we usually do.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if everything's working. Mark, Have you
tried turning it up?
He had to set everything up at the last minute today. So if he looks like he's flustered or like he's touching everything, it's because
we had a bit of a late start today.
He's still setting things up.
We're good to go, though. I have everything ready to go. I've got the trends down here. I just pulled them down because they make us look like ghosts. It's going.
All right. Do we need instant Google Analytics before tomorrow, or do we need to install Google Analytics before tomorrow? I mean, you can switch to Google Analytics 4 at any time, but Universal Analytics stops working tomorrow. Yes. So I would if you don't want to gap in your data, but I can't exactly advise you on how to do that because I haven't done it. But you can go over to the eRank YouTube channel, and Pam already has a video over there on it. And we talked about it yesterday during eRank Q&A. But
Also, welcome all the new HAA students. This is our first live stream since the academy closed.
Yeah, welcome. All right, I am good to go.
All right, let me get our chat over. No.
Mr. Moore has a little bit of a headache today.
I do. So. The wonderful air quality. Thanks, Canada, by the way. The
not you guys in Canada, but Canada.
No, it's directly your fault.
It's all of you.
Every Canadian. Okay.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Exactly. I've had headaches pretty much every day since that started.
Unfortunately. Oh yeah. And I can't imagine how bad it is for you guys who are like right on.
Why are there little hearts popping up?
Because they can now react.
Oh, so that's just going to be like that the whole stream now.
Yeah, they can put little hearts in the chat and react.
You're welcome. Sorry? Question mark. Only if you say it in the Canadian way. Story. I love it.
We love you guys.
We are good to go.
All right, let's do it, and we'll try to make this fun. First of all, I haven't looked at this. Right. I only scrolled through like the top of it to make sure that it was, that it was actually going to be fall themed before I titled the video, and I definitely think that it is. Oh, look, there go the hearts. Look what you've done. So one thing that I want to point out is that a lot of the colors that we're going to see are very 70s themed. And we have been seeing this everywhere. For those of you who are in anything design related, or even those of you who sell vintage, the 70s aesthetic is so popular in terms of fonts, materials, multi-textured decor. For example, lots of different textured pillows. These are things that, because I was born in the 90s, it's very much how my grandma's house was decorated, which I lived with her. Her house was very much still themed in the 70s. So to me, these themes feel very homey. They remind me of, of when I was a kid. But, granted that Mark and I, like I said, we were born in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So
91 and 92.
Yeah, we're babies. I know. Okay, so there is a video on how to use this report, but that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So let's look for things that are consistent, okay? This is in the gifting and occasions. Right away, I'm noticing a very specific aesthetic to these images in particular. It's very artistic, but almost... How do I describe it? It's
raw.
Yeah, there's a very specific look here. I'm seeing a lot of this gold and dark. There's almost like with the way that this photo is structured, it almost has like a dark academia type vibe, or like a
kind of. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of that stone and gold together.
Yeah, and silver. Remember when we went to and recorded our video about the trends in stores, and bold colors in terms of fashion as well. So I really like this necklace and earring combo. She's wearing a little dress with a little pattern with ghosts and things, which this is the kind of stuff, obviously little ghosts, pumpkins, stuff like that is always going to be popular, but you can do things in a creative way. And hopefully we see some more trends like that. So
love the wax press.
Yeah, and lots of pink. So
send in our taxes with that exact stamp every year from now on.
Poor tax lady. She's so sweet. All right. Moon motifs. So what we also want to do is look at keywords and the way that they have worded things here. Moon motifs, following the moon phase trend that took social media by storm, and an ongoing interest in zodiac signs and star maps. These are all good keyword ideas. Fascination with moon motifs is on the rise. Think journals that chart moon phases, wall art that depicts lunar themes, and moon and star-shaped earrings. And there has been a 63% increase year on year for searches containing moon phase wall decor. That is absolutely awesome. So these are things that don't necessarily need to just stick around for Halloween. If you get these products in your shop for Halloween, these are the types of things that people keep in their home year round. Throwback Halloween, 80s and 90s themed Halloween products, vintage and secondhand for both costume supplies and decor. So again, just that vintage vibe. I have one of those, what are the blown like plastic decorations that were really big that you can put the little like night light bulbs in? I've got one called Mr. Blinky that I ordered vintage on Etsy because we used to have one when I was a kid. Barnyard imagery. Now this one is really fun because it'll stick around. It'll, be popular fall. You can run with this for Thanksgiving. You can do Christmas in barnyard themes because typically people who have this kind of barnyard aesthetic to their kitchens, I think kitchen is a place that we commonly see this particular theme. They want to update that decor. They want to make sure that they can update it so that they have decorations for every holiday. So if you can incorporate things in for all of the future holidays as well, you can be one of those shops that somebody comes back to again and again. Latest children's clothing and decor trend take inspiration from farm animals. So that's good to know. Children's clothing and decor can also tell us that children's parties will likely have barnyard themes. Nurseries will likely have barnyard themes. Lots of good ideas.
Melanie said, be careful if you do candles, though. Someone trademarked the Zodiac signs.
Really?
I'll have to look into that because I'm pretty sure that that's a public domain thing that's like thousands of years old.
Yeah,
So I don't know if we'll look into it. There's probably some nuance to that we're missing here.
Yeah. Fall harvest bundles, tried and true maize motifs are coupled with thistles and blooming artichokes. Okay, so this is interesting for everybody who does anything related to, like floral. It could be art prints, wedding, table arrangements, how you print, things on shirts even. Not just leaves, not just pumpkins, not just, flowers. We're seeing thistles and blooming artichokes. Those are things I would never think. Botanical loving. That's a good keyword. So interesting. Consider these natural finds for decor cards and linens. I could see that, definitely being cool for like some like printable wall art.
Yeah.
Traditional autumn with a twist. Let's see. After the recent painted sourdough social media trend. Painted sourdough, is that a trend we missed?
I guess so.
Innovative decor for entertaining, like hand-painted gourds, wreaths, and unexpected materials.
I've seen the gourds.
And sculpted object or sculptural objects made from autumn leaf shapes. Interesting. Okay. Look, increases for searches on Thanksgiving figurine. And I didn't catch that on this one. Artichoke art. That's very interesting. Does anybody have artichoke art in their house? That's an interesting trend. Embossed stationery. So this is going to be, cool ways to decorate your stationery. Consider creative ways of depicting foliage for Thanksgiving in Canada, in the US, autumn celebrations, and fall weddings. So, not just digital downloads, not just, printed cards. How can you take those printed products and make them a little bit more fun if you're shipping them yourselves? Can you add a little bit of foliage to them? Can you make them stand out a little bit? Let's see. And 53% year-on-year increase in searches on Etsy containing embossed. Interesting. All right. Gifts that celebrate a couple's love story. These are cute. Mark and I, we shop for stuff like this all the time around anniversaries because we've been married so long now that it's like, okay, what do we even get each other? So unique wedding gifts. Let's see. Are there any gifts to nod where a couple met? So that could be, states maybe with little hearts in them. It could be actual like coordinates. I've seen things where there's actual coordinates for where you met. Mark, I got him a necklace and it has the exact moon phase on the night that we got together. So that's all really, really fun ways to, not just create a product that says happy anniversary and the day that, they got together. You can create things that are more unique and that call on very subtle things that, the average person, for example, if they see his necklace, they just think, oh, it's a cool moon necklace. But, for us, we know what it means. It's something special. Love core. Look at this keyword, guys. Love core. The year of pink has come to a head in pink colored weddings, floral accents, and heart-shaped patterns. And obviously the Barbie movie had a big impact on this. There was actually a worldwide shortage on pink paint because they used so much pink paint on the set of the Barbie movie. Just make sure that you're not using any terms that could be tied to Barbie. Obviously you'll get in big trouble for that, but love core, that's fun. And blush pink wedding dress. So for all of you who create wedding themed products, looks like pink is going to be probably a color that we see for a while. I would assume that this is going to carry over into next spring as well. New hobbies and DIYs. We have to consider that very soon people are going to be sitting at home. It's going to be colder outside. They're going to be looking for gifts. So if you can do any type of gift box for sewing, crocheting, knitting with patterns and maybe all the supplies that they need or the colors that they need, those things are very giftable, and it can be a great way for those of you who create patterns to create products that are a little bit more expensive as well. So style trends. Now, I really like style trends because we can also get some ideas for home. I know that sounds weird because you're thinking, well, this is all clothing. But you can often get ideas for, color palettes and things that will be trendy in home decor as well as different like aesthetics. Because if somebody is dressing with, like, for example, the 70s theme, maybe they want to get some decorations that kind of match that aesthetic. Maybe it's an actual lifestyle that they're trying to live. Like this girl right here, and she's got all her vinyls in the background. So we'll take a scroll. What do you think of this trend here, honey? Do you like this nice pink?
No.
She looks very warm.
She does look very warm.
She looks like she's about to rob a bank with a poodle. And yeah.
Rob a bank with a poodle.
Yeah, because it's pink and she looks very pretty. And
she's around biting all the ankles.
She's got a very pretty puffy sweater. I think that she looks like a bank robber who
looks hot is what it looks like.
Yeah, she's sexy.
I don't know about wearing that kind of material on your face. I feel like you would sweat and then it would insulate more and then you would sweat more and then it would just be yucky.
I get boogery, so I would in the winter, so I can just imagine the front of it getting like snotted up. I'm sure that if, for those of you who live in Canada, you're like, no, that's great. We need this. All right, so take a little scroll down. New boho. Ooh, from flowy floral pattern winter dresses to moss agate jewelry. Moss agate jewelry. Shoppers are seeking out a refined version of the hippie chic stylings of yesteryear.
Tina said pink isn't a great color for that shape.
For what?
Scroll.
You're right, Tina.
Oops.
You are very right, Tina. Only you would point that out, though. So a couple big keywords here. Moss agate jewelry, floral patterned, winter dresses. We don't often think of winter dresses, so that's pretty interesting. And then oh wow,
100,000 year-over-year increase in surging charm bracelet opal.
Charm bracelet opal. That leads me to believe that other opal themed jewelry might also be popular.
What did something in pop culture make opal explode? Did somebody famous wear an opal necklace or a dress made out of opals? That sounds like something that like Miley Cyrus would do. Yeah,
that's very interesting. Punk meets prep. Ooh, this one itches at your gourd.
No, I wasn't punk.
No, but it's just kind of a weird. This
refined lines and asymmetry, leather jackets and prep school pleated shirts, hot pink femme looks in a more dark, edgy context.
That just sounds to me like
posers.
No, like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah,
like how Avril Lavigne used to dress. She would wear like the pleated schoolgirl skirt, but then she would wear like a tank top, a white tank top, and a necktie.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm getting from here, and I'm noticing also that something that wasn't included in this is plaids. So not more of just checkerboard, not really plaid, but like checkerboard. And I'm seeing pastels and in checkerboard. So white and lavender, or white and yellow, white and baby blue, white and pink are very, very popular. And then 286% year-over-year increase on Etsy searches containing flower choker. Those little chokers that we used to get out of the gumball machines, the little stretchy ones from, you guys know, from the 90s.
Seems like every girl under 20 is wearing those now.
Yeah, like they, we used to call them tattoo chokers when I was a kid because it looked like a little neck tattoo. Those are really popular. Hemp chokers, hemp jewelry with beads and shells are very popular.
Ooh, dark boudoir.
Ooh, dark boudoir.
Yo, where are my kinky peeps at? Get them black hearts in chat.
I don't think that they can do black hearts.
Yeah,
just normal.
There's a purple one right there.
Oh, you mean actually, I thought you meant like the little bubbles that pop up.
No, the little black heart says a chat emoji. You're killing the vibe, bro.
Lingerie everyday trend has extended into incorporate more moody gothic palettes and silhouettes. Okay, so this is really interesting though, because we also have to think about Halloween photo shoots. I don't know if that's something that the girls do in your guys' area, but here in Ohio, because our forests get beautiful in the fall, it seems like all of my female friends go do like dark and sexy like photo shoots in the woods, and they'll dress up like witches, or they'll, do, like goddesses in the woods. But that's really cool because that helps you to, think about, well, people aren't just buying these to wear. Maybe they're buying them as photo props. Maybe they are seeking things to use as photo props.
A lot of kinky chicks in the chat.
Oh my goodness.
That's how it is though. I got to tell you, I don't have a problem with everyday lingerie trend. I think it's cool.
But
express yourself.
It's so cold in our house.
It is.
I would freeze. Let's see, hot. just in time for the darker days in the northern hemisphere. See, the thing is, I don't want to lift that veil here on camera. Not like literally, but I don't want to lift the metaphorical veil, because they already see me as this like teacher, mentor, brainy thing. And if I start, lifting the veil.
Doing the hot chick thing.
I don't want to do the hot chick thing.
The goth hot chick too. That's a whole different kind of hot chick.
I'm not ready for those types of comments yet. Maybe someday. Maybe when I hit like my midlife
We'll just
crisis.
keep them to the Instagram inbox for now.
Oh God. You guys don't want to see my Instagram inbox. It's bad. Let's see. This style includes corsets. Okay, so think about corsets in other ways as well.
Sure.
Think about corsets. For example, I saw a really cool tumbler, like the tumblers with the glitter and what's it called when you guys make the tumblers by hand with the glitter and they're really pretty and you got to do the spinning. You know what I'm talking about. I saw one and they had created a corset back on the tumbler, and then they, did I'm assuming, is it an enamel coating over it? They did that over top of the ribbons and the rivets, and it was super cool, but it was completely safe, to be washed, because none of the fabric or anything was exposed, to the open air. And I thought that was really cool. You could do some sexy like anniversary cards and make like a little corset design and maybe even add real string. I think that there's a lot of fun ways that you could run with this trend. 17% year-over-year increase in searches containing corset belt leather. Oh, interesting. Romantic silhouettes. Fashion Week looks and street style alike have emphasis on draping and billowing fabric. So more like breezy. Think dramatic sleeves, asymmetrical draped skirts, and elegant silk cowl necks. Interesting. I'm thinking, okay, so I don't know if any of you make skirts or products with sleeves, but elegant silk cowl necks, that one I think feels a little bit more achievable, especially for those of you who have things like scarves and things in your shop. If silk is popular, very interesting. Bishop sleeve shirt. That is a weird combination of words. I didn't know that was a thing. Bishop sleeve shirt. Interesting. Okay, utilitarian blazers. I'm a big fan of blazers. I have quite a few lady blazers, you know, blazers that don't have big giant shoulders in them. Consider styling your items with a crisp jacket or adding one to your collection. Interesting. Searches, let's see, 12% year-on-year increase in searches on Etsy containing 90s blazer. Refine minimalism. So minimalism, that has been big for a long time. Some should, let's see, as some shoppers adopt a less is more philosophy and invest in key quality pieces. So this is an important note here. With the less is more mentality, we're thinking about the shoppers who don't want something cheap. These are people who want to buy something that is expensive and lasting, something that is high quality, that they don't have to buy over and over again. So they're more willing to invest a little bit more money into these pieces, which is great for those of you who design jewelry. And I know that we have several like metalsmiths as well. Let's see. In addition to blazers, consider offering classics like straight leg or full slacks, button downs, high quality knits designed for layering. Stick with neutral colors. So neutral colors, earth tones, nice warm colors, those 70s palettes that we're seeing, like
flat pastels too, are really popular. And they're talking about layering specifically, so things that can go great with other colors without a lot of effort.
Exactly, especially as the weather gets colder. Patchwork has been really, really popular. I've been seeing all kinds of patchwork shirts and jackets. Think like, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think, had a lot of like really cool patchwork outfits. You know, the cast had lots of cool patchwork. But that's really fun. The craft core style. There's another keyword, craft core.
Craft core.
Patchwork jacket.
I swear the crafty community is just becoming the metal community all over again, adding core after everything.
Core, metal core, craft core,
gent core,
granny core,
pirate core.
Let's see. Cozy chic. As temperatures dip in some parts of the world, folks will be looking for new and visually appealing ways to bundle up. Items utilizing brushed wools, fleece, and other fuzzy textures. So that's just over the next few months, everything is going to be chunky knits. Chunky knits, warm colors that remind you of, you know, cuddling up next to a fire and reading a book. That is my aesthetic year round. I just suffer more in the summer because, you know, it's hot. But this is my thing. Just the cozy, chunky knits, nice, natural colors, chunky scarves. Looks like 13% year-on-year increase in searches containing fleece beanie. Think of all the warm, cuddly, cozy things. And if you need inspiration, get on Pinterest right now and just search cozy aesthetic. In fact, any of the terms, patchwork aesthetic, trench coat, 90s blazer aesthetic. You can get great ideas on Pinterest just by adding aesthetic to any of these words. Disco ball earrings. Ooh, inner child jewelry. So resin beads, charms, nostalgic, youthful dressing could remain a trend come fall.
Seasonally appropriate mushroom imagery and rings.
Yeah, like, you know, different, not just fall things that can last year round, like the little red mushrooms or even trippy mushrooms as well. Like think, you know, the blacklight posters. And for those of you in the US, like think about Spencer's in the 90s and what that was like.
Spencer's now. They're still that way. There's a little bit more pop culture and rap related stuff, but they're still pretty on it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of trippy stuff in there like how they used to, like with the, you know, the cool like black light section, disco ball earrings. So I like to think of this almost like the carpeting at the arcade or when you went to the skating rink in the 90s. Lots of fun, bright colors, crazy jewelry, perler beads and pony bead jewelry I've noticed has been big lately, especially with his EDM scene. They were all about the perler beads and, you know, and things like that.
Still are.
Coordinated sets. So mix and match pairs of tops and bottoms that can be easily swapped. And, you know, this could also be something that you apply to jewelry. You could create sets of, necklace and earrings in one color because monochromes are very popular. Just like we saw in the picture up above of this lady here with her earrings and her matching necklace all in one shade of pink. Monochromes are very, very popular. So that's a trend that you could apply to both.
And I finally found her vanilla hearts. She's not a kinky one. She's vanilla. That's for ice cream. Vanilla is for ice cream.
All right. Decor trends. This whole vibe here, honey. Mid-century modern is really, really big.
Yeah.
I love this glass. Look at this, hun. Isn't this nice? So pretty. We've been looking at new houses. We're ready to get out of our tiny house.
So a thing yet? I mean, kind of. The cool thing is the EDM scene is kind of growing exponentially, I think, because people are realizing that those kind of concerts are way more fun than like rock and rap concerts are. No hate though. I mean, obviously I'm an old school rock guy, but I would expect in the next 5 years or so for that to become a norm for sure.
All right. Let's see. Pieces that inspire. So we have to think about shoppers continue to see home as a sanctuary. So think about the fact that people are going to be in their homes in the winter and they're going to buy decor items. They're going to buy things for their space. They're going to try to make their space cozy. They're going to create a space that invites guests for the holidays. So all of you who create decor, or for those of you who sell vintage, begin thinking about the type of atmosphere that your shoppers want to create this season. So pieces that inspire for folks who view their home as a reflection of themselves. Handmade Alpha Academy students, remember yesterday in the student campus, I post pictures of my mom and her home. My mom is like goth kid 24/7, 365 days a year. Her whole house is gothed out. Her home is a reflection of herself. Each purchase must capture or complement their identity. Handmade products and vintage finds offer appealing creativity and rich history. Be sure to highlight the story of your shop and items to reach even more discerning buyers. So this is really important because if your shop has a specific aesthetic or there is a very specific feel to your shop, what inspired that feeling? What inspired that aesthetic? What made you want to sell those types of products? I think that those things can really build a connection with your buyers. 27% year-on-year increase in searches on Etsy containing unique coffee table. Very interesting. Comfort is key. Many shoppers are staying in more as a way to save extra cash. So comfy, lived-in looks are a priority, especially in the cooler seasons. So that's fun. Tactile, statement textures, warm lighting, and natural elements. So when we talk about statement textures, if you go right now to, we'll say Target, for example, and you look at their pillow section, like just their normal couch, accent pillows, they're all different textures. They want you to mix and match those textures because different textures are huge right now. And I remember, my grandma, she had all her pillows from the 70s. Her whole couch was like this really ugly or like orange tweed material. And then she had all different pillows. She had like a velour gold pillows and velour olive green pillows. And then she had like some pillows that almost felt like macrame. So different textures, warm lighting, natural elements. And this is good for your photos as well, guys. If you create, for example, Mirkwood Scribes, Miranda, she creates bookmarks and she achieves a nice cozy aesthetic for her bookmarks by taking her product photography for social media with warm lighting and natural elements like little props and things that go around the frame of her photo. You can incorporate these trends in and create a comfy environment for a product that isn't soft. You're not cozying up with a bookmark, but you want to be cozy when you read a book. So she creates an atmosphere with her shop. So that's a really cool idea. Paper lantern hanging. Interesting. Are you okay?
Yeah, people keep coming to the door.
Oh, okay. I can't figure out why you keep getting up.
Because people keep coming to the door.
Crazy people keep coming.
First was my Sweetwater guy calling me to ask me about my classic guitar.
Oh. All right. New cottage core. So cottage core has been popular for a while. But we're also starting to see cottagecore go in different directions. I'm seeing gothic cottagecore. I'm seeing pastel cottagecore. I'm seeing dreamy cottagecore. I found an amazing Instagram artist, and remind me at the end and I'll let you know who she is. But she does dreamy cottagecore, and I swear we're thinking about doing our bathroom with her art because it's just so fun.
We had a couple people talking about EDM jewelry. Remember, if that crowd isn't your niche, it's not something you should be incorporating.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that doesn't fit into your shop and the current aesthetic that you're going for, then don't try to slap that in.
Yeah, because it's a very bright, bold, often plastic jewelry thing,
yeah.
you know.
And a lot of them are very like make it myself kind of, and you got to understand that like these festivals are extremely expensive, and most of these people spend like every penny they have to go to these festivals. So
yeah, so they're not willing to spend a whole lot.
No,
but
so
if you
don't sell in an industry that you know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah,
Just be careful.
Yeah, because you don't want people to, you don't want to get into an industry where you don't understand the lingo or why someone's buying your products, because I believe that a lot with the perler beads there is, I know that
I have no idea.
The perler beads, the big things.
I know
that
what they are, but I don't know if there's a reason behind them.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's jump back in. Vintage baskets are paired with brass accents. New takes on mushroom decor and elevated styling for a mix of styles that feel both old and new. My grandma had these really cool things on our end tables, and they were made with real wood and real mushrooms that had been like clear coated.
Yeah.
And it was like little scenes with these real mushrooms. And I was fascinated with them when I was really little. But she was always like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's fragile. And then when she wasn't looking, I would like touch it just because I knew I wasn't supposed to. Let's see. 53% year-on-year increase in searches for mushroom wall art. Statement rugs. So these are crazy rugs, fun rugs that are different, rugs that are unusual, weird things on rugs, offer pops of personality, bright colors, intricate designs, and plush vintage styles. And then 90% year-on-year increase in searches for colorful rug. We were thinking about doing our bathroom in butts. I have a rug in my cart right now that says nice butt. And I have a shower curtain, and it's got these little mushroom like tops, but then instead of a stem, it's little like ladies' legs, like little cute pinup legs and little butts. And I want to get like some wall art with a bunch of little like, not like dirty butts, like cute little butts, because our daughter is 11 and she's, obsessed with butts because she's a child and butts are funny. But I thought that it would be really funny for her to come home one day and our bathroom is just decorated in butts.
She would be so mad.
I know she would. That's why it would be funny. Let's see. Novel glass and enamelware. This is a big one. Colorful glass trends. His cousin makes blown glass and like these crystal glasses, and they made us these beautiful pink. Are they crystal or are they glass?
The pink ones are crystal.
Yeah, and they made us these custom crystal pink glasses, and they're so pretty.
They sell them. They're like $90 each.
Yeah, think about all the colors that, again, those 70s glasses. We just bought the glasses with the smiley faces on them. We were watching that 70s show, and Eric, Topher Grace, was drinking out of a glass, and it had like green and yellow smiley faces printed all over it. And
she said, I want those glasses. So, of course, first thing I did was search for a vintage shop on Etsy and found them right away.
And now I have little smiley face glasses. So, yeah.
They're the most thin, delicate glasses I have ever felt in my entire life.
But they're so cute. I love them. Crazy, crazy colors. The green glass, blue glass, and brown glass. I know that, those colors were very, very popular. Let's see, mermaid core again.
This is 3 years in a row now.
Yeah, mermaids have remained popular. But coastal grandma, this is another one that we've been seeing a lot of. So think about, grandma, her little cottage by the sea, and how she might have her little cottage decorated, types of products that she would have around. Dark wood tones. So think of natural wood, eclectic decor that shoppers have in their current collection. In addition to offering dark wood in your product line, use walnut and mahogany tones in your listing photos to create a cozy vibe. So even if you create silver jewelry, maybe you use a dark slab of wood to showcase your jewelry sitting on with like, you know, maybe like a softer background. There's lots of ways to incorporate in that cozy vibe, even just with your photos and your marketing. So walnut jewelry box, 23% year-on-year increase. Vintage patterns, grand millennial style.
Grand millennial.
We're not grand millennials, are we?
We're not old enough for people. I mean, we are old enough for people to have grandkids, but very irresponsible.
Is that what it's?
It would be like a 13-year-old that had a kid who had a kid at 13 also.
Yeah. So we're probably not in grand millennial yet, right? Wallpaper, textiles, teacups, and wall art. Eclectic finds to situate this trend with or within today's cottagecore aesthetic. And then earthy ceramics. So again, those earth tones, things that feel very, you know, nature. I just got him a mustache mug on Etsy that has, you know, like the little extra piece of ceramic so that your mustache doesn't dip in your coffee. Mm-hmm. Terracotta, speckled textures.
I hate that word.
Speckled?
That is my least favorite word.
Really?
Yeah. Moist is not anywhere near speckled.
Supple and succulent are my two least favorite words. Succulent, like when you eat something and say it's succulent, not like the plant. I hate that.
Supple, speckled, succulent.
Ugh. Uneven glazes. So when half of like a mug is glazed and the other half is just like the raw pottery, that reveal the natural components and handiwork are growing in popularity. And I'm also noticing that, you know, pottery pieces that still have some thumbprints and some fingerprints kind of incorporated in, which obviously that's what you're trying to avoid when you're doing pottery. But a couple little like natural bits, I think are actually, you know, people are enjoying that because it shows that it's truly handmade. So I hope that this gave you some ideas. I know that kind of reading these can be a drag. And I hope that, you know, through these discussions, you're able to think of some creative ideas or that I'm able to add a little bit extra onto these trends that can help you to see them in different ways. But overall, this season's trend, I absolutely love these color palettes. It reminds me of like a cigar lounge, like a dark, like a study or a cigar lounge. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like this aesthetic, I think that it's really nice.
Let's go ahead and switch back to faces. Anna said cluster is actually the worst word. I don't get any yuck from that word.
Cluster.
That's a very strange word to hate.
Well, because I like a chocolate peanut cluster. I think that those are yummy. So maybe my brain just goes to like a turtle, like a chocolate turtle.
Turtle.
Not like the animal turtle. Guys, feel free to ask us anything you want. That is the end of our trend report. I hope that, you know, that this helped to give you some ideas. But like I said, if you didn't watch Tuesday's video, be sure to go watch that because it's edited and it's a lot shorter and it gives a bunch of additional, more Halloween specific trends as opposed to just seasonal trends. Because a lot of the trends that we discussed today, I definitely feel are things that, you know, we could potentially see not just, you know, now, but through the holiday season as well when weather gets cold. So
somebody had asked for the link for that. I'll post it in the chat for you. There you go. They post these in the Etsy seller handbook. Is Bubber's around? Yeah, I don't know where he is. He must be napping upstairs.
Yeah. Amy's here. She's over on the couch.
Yeah, I think this weather has them feeling kind of crappy too, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's been especially feisty lately. So guys, feel free to ask us anything. Over the next few weeks, Mark and I have a pretty busy schedule. We shouldn't miss any episodes of the Friday Bean, though, thankfully, because we'll be returning from our vacation on Thursday, which means we technically can...
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, we'll be leaving on Thursday, so we'll be getting here Thursday night. So we might need to do an open critique on Friday because we're going to be pretty exhausted after a 13-hour drive.
Yeah, so it'll probably be an easier one. But yeah, and we are up to $720. This is our last charity live stream for the Trevor Project. Next month, we'll be choosing a different charity. So this is your last chance to donate. Thanks to everybody who has donated so far. I had hoped that we'd get to $1,000, but I still think that $720 for a good cause. I think that you guys did fantastic. Thank you to everybody who donated during Critique Week, which helped a lot to help raise those donations. Thanks to everybody who has been donating every episode during the Friday Bean. There's some people who have donated literally every week.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Can you show that artist you said you would show?
Yes. Can you pull up Instagram? And then I'll just give you their name. Let's see.
Yeah, because I can't pull up my main Instagram until you tell me what.
That's fine.
I used to be a bodybuilder, so all of my Instagram stuff is like bodybuilding people that are mostly naked, and I don't want YouTube to get that confused.
Yeah, because all the supplement companies and stuff.
Yeah, and people street racing for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably because you don't follow a lot of people leisurely, so, you know.
Hopefully this isn't someone that you have to...
No. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Screen share?
Autumn, my brain doesn't want to...
Do not click off of this page.
I'm not. Autumnal Wood. She is a great example of somebody who went vintage dreamy. It almost has that filter over her work.
Yeah, it has colored like 1940s cartoon.
Yeah. But this is the print. I even commented on it and said that I was waiting for her to put this print in her shop because I want this print for like our maybe our bathroom or something. But yeah, I think that she does a really, really cute and unique art style. It reminds me of something that like a cartoon when I was a kid, you know, but then she adds kind of unique and modern themes to it. I really like this little ghost. It's super cute. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy her because her art style is just so cute. I really want to do a room of my house in her stuff.
My shop was chosen to try out the super large photo listing thumbnail, and I don't like it. How do I get back to my regular size?
Oh man,
I have no idea. You're gonna have to get with Etsy about that one.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they were testing that, so I would definitely get back with them.
Is it too soon to start uploading Halloween stuff? No.
Oh, absolutely.
Should we focus on fall and then more Halloween specific after that?
I would do both. People are already searching for Halloween. We're seeing more Halloween searches than general fall searches. And on, let's see, tomorrow we should be getting our new data over at eRank for June searches, which means we'll be able to see how many people were searching in June for Halloween products. But I dare say it's going to be significant. I would get those products listed now. Definitely. People are already buying them.
For tags and keywords, does capitalization and grammar matter?
Capitalization does not matter. Grammar in terms of spelling things wrong does matter. So make sure that you are spelling things correctly. But
while Etsy can probably differentiate the difference, you have to think that it's a customer that's going to be reading it. And if they see poor grammar, things not capitalized that should be state names, country names, things like that, they might pick somebody else over yours.
Yeah, but like punctuation and things like that, no.
Don't really matter. Make sure you guys are getting your questions in. We only have one more question left.
Oh, yeah.
There's 300 of you here. I know somebody's got a question. Should we put our shop names in our primary listing photos? Not necessarily, no.
No, I wouldn't, unless you're selling, if you are selling a piece of artwork that can easily be like saved and stolen, watermarking is okay, but you know, watermarks can easily be removed. And when it comes to an actual product like jewelry or a mug or a shirt or something like that, I would not do anything that distracts from the product itself.
I wish I joined your academy before the deadline. When's the next session? We will be opening again on December 1st.
Yes, there is a link down below to get on the waiting list. That isn't like something that obligates you to buy it. It just makes sure that I am able to email you when it opens up so you know that it's open. But yes, we are closed until December, unfortunately.
If customers commonly misspell a word, is it a good idea to include the misspelling? No, because again, Etsy can differentiate. Etsy can pick out the difference. And the difference is if you misspell it, you might turn customers off. And customers who misspell it aren't even going to notice that they did it.
Yeah, because Etsy will correct it for them.
Mm-hmm. What about t-shirt versus t-shirt or sugar skull versus sugar skull?
Okay, so this is a good question. With t-shirt t-shirt and t-shirt for those who are watching the replay.
T-shirt, T-dash shirt, and T-E-E space shirt.
I would use whichever one through your eRank research gets the most searches. Go to the compare keywords tool under the tools tab, type all three of those in and use whichever one is the most popular. Same with Sugar Skull versus Sugar Skull as one word. See which one gets the most searches, but I'm going to guess that because those are going to be seen as two different words versus one word, you're going to want to try to use whichever one is getting more searches.
On my made-to-order listings where they pick the fabric, I've been putting text on the main image that says there are more fabric choices. Is that okay, or is there a better way?
That's okay. I think that when you have more than one option, being able to express that there's more than one option is fine, as long as you haven't put the text in a way that's distracting. For example, in the Alpha merch store that we use for like testing and video recordings, we've got a couple Friday Bean hoodies in there, and we put like little frames of the different colors that they can choose on the thumbnail. Just make sure that it's not distracting from the product itself.
Do you know anything about the big sale going on this weekend that's only for select shops?
I don't. But usually when Etsy does a group sale like that, it's just an optional thing because they are running a promotion on their main like homepage, and then they send emails and they talk about it in their social media marketing. If you've been invited to some type of sale, it's always okay to participate as long as you can afford it, but don't feel obligated.
Do you know, that was the same one. How long does it take to rank after creating a new listing? Does updating photos set you back? Photos have absolutely no weight on your listing quality score.
Yeah, the photos, they don't have any weight in search. How long does it take to rank? You rank immediately. You might not rank well, but you rank immediately.
Etsy's got to take time to determine where you're going to sit.
Ranking isn't something where you put keywords in your listing and then you start getting shown at the top of the search page for that listing. There's a lot more that goes into ranking in search. For example, listings that have more sales than you are going to rank above you. Listings that have more reviews than you are going to rank above you, because listing quality scores, which is basically, that listing's history with Etsy, it's good history and all the good interaction that it's gotten in the past. That is what tells Etsy that this is a good product. This product, when people search for this thing, they're typically happy when they buy this item. And those items that customers tend to be happy with and that they buy and they review are the items that usually get prioritized in search. Now, when you list something new, you don't have a listing quality score yet. And because of that, Etsy doesn't want to put you all the way at the bottom. That's not fair. They want to give you a chance. So during, those first 60 to 90 days that we talk about on Etsy, Etsy boosts your listing a little bit. They move it around. They show it to all different types of customers performing different types of searches to better understand what it is that you're selling and how much people like that thing, so that they know where they should more permanently put you in search. Now, permanent doesn't mean that you're going to stay there forever, but it means that you will be in that general area as long as you can maintain a similar activity level in terms of shoppers, interacting with your listing versus the other listings on that page. But it sounds like you might be interested in, down below, my free Etsy SEO toolbox. That talks about how ranking on Etsy works and how the algorithm works, which would probably be a really good start for you if you don't have it already. And like I said, it's free. So yeah.
Did you ever get any insights for us that have 100% visibility listings in eRank? Not yet. That requires a pretty insane amount of time for me to be able to dive into all of that, and I literally have not had the time since we did that.
Yeah, because we had the HAA launch right after that.
I literally have not had the time.
But we will. We absolutely will.
Yeah, I've still got your emails. I've got them all starred in my inbox. I make POD designs for businesses. How do I charge for a license to sell the design? Well, technically, if you're selling them on Etsy as a design for POD businesses to sell, you selling them on Etsy is you giving them the license to sell that product on. If that is what the listing is for on Etsy, say I've got a little gnome that I sell as a digital design for POD sellers. You selling them that design as a design to put on their POD stuff should, in theory, count as the license, right?
Right. I'm a little confused. So you are already selling them for them to use. So why do you also need to charge for an additional license? I mean, you can, or are you selling them for personal use and you want to have a more expensive commercial version?
If I was going to do that, I would just have a separate variant, unless they can't do variants for digital.
I don't think you can, but
if you could do variants, I would just make a variant that says corporate use license or whatever.
Yeah, Sabrina, I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, just because right now we're both speculating because we don't know. I would recommend posting that one in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, because I'm sure that there's somebody who does exactly what you're, asking about, who would probably be able to give better advice. I don't want to guess and give you the wrong.
She said, I'm asking about the license because I've seen other sellers charge for the design and then the license. It confused me too, so I want to make sure I'm not missing something. To be honest with you, that's crap. That to me is a crappy practice, unless, like she said, you're selling it for personal use and they also want to sell to be able to put it on POD designs. But if you're selling specifically for POD sellers, then I mean, obviously it's up to you to make sure that only people that you're selling to are the ones using the designs. But you should be including the license to sell it in the digital download if that is the purpose of the listing to begin with. Yeah. In my opinion, either way is probably legally correct. So it just depends on how far you want to go. I think having to buy the design and the license is kind of poo-poo.
Yeah.
Could we blend Scandinavian and folk art into cottagecore for a niche? I'm working on my drawing, but I have a problem in that I like all things, also goth, but I assume that would be a layer too far. Scandinavian and folk art are already kind of...
Well, it just depends on your style is what ties it all together. Your unique art style is what ties those things together.
Yeah.
If they, the girl that we just looked at, her Instagram feed, she had like moons and stars, but then she had flowers, and then she had frogs, and then she had ghosts. And, flowers and ghosts don't really go together, and ghosts and frogs don't really go together, but the overall style was a very similar aesthetic, and it was the style that tied everything together, which is more important than making all the same thing. It's having a cohesive look that appeals to a very specific type of target customer.
Yeah. Not Etsy related, but any advice on how to straighten stickers that curled up due to humidity? To be honest with you, no, not particularly. I would say if you have some kind of like warm heating plate that you could put them under with pressure that would flatten them out and also warm them up. But then again, a lot of adhesives also lose strength after being heated up and cooled several times, and they might just curl back up. We don't make stickers. I'm 100% speculating there. Maybe hop in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community and ask if there's anybody in there that has that issue. I understand it, though. The humidity here is pretty wild.
You skip one.
Oh, I did. What is a good conversion rate? That varies from industry to industry.
Yeah, you can Google what the average good conversion rate for Etsy is, and there's like some standard, but the conversion rate changes by industry, product type. It changes drastically. Your best bet is to look at what the standard is for Etsy and then try to narrow it down a little bit by doing a separate search based on what you sell. Because sometimes you can get it narrowed down a little bit better.
Anything on dorm decor? Seems like the head to college would be a trend.
I mean, most of what we talked about with the 70s aesthetic and things and art, I mean, really everything can be applied. You have to think that everything that we talked about can be applied to anything. You have to be able to take, the trends that we say and not filter for a specific word. Because if you look at a trend report and you scroll through it and you're like, oh, this says nothing about dorm decor, there must be nothing about dorm decor in here. Well, no, they might not be calling it dorm decor, but that doesn't mean that the types of aesthetics that we talked about, like the cottage core, like the mermaid core, like the love core is like at the end of everything, right? In the 70s aesthetics and the color palettes and the checkerboards and all of that, all of those things can be incorporated into dorm decor, even if dorm decor wasn't specifically highlighted.
Yeah, and college is kind of a hot, spicy topic right now, especially with loan forgiveness kind of being given a smack yesterday, and college enrollments kind of starting to fall off. For public 4-year colleges, they plateaued between 2015 and 2020, and are likely on the decline because it's just getting ever more expensive. And college kids don't have a lot of money to begin with.
Keeping in mind that we're in the US.
Yes. And all politics aside, college is a hot topic right now. So I could see why you would want to try to get in on that. My fall leggings get more views than Halloween at the moment. Yeah. How many t-shirt color options do you recommend? Is it better to have 5 to 6 or more if they look good with the design? That's totally up to you.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of having, less and not choosing colors that don't complement the design at all. But I mean, really, it's up to you.
Is ranking based on the number of sales or the dollar amount?
Neither. Sorry, it was in all caps, so we thought you were yelling.
Don't scream at me.
Ranking is not based on either of those things on their own. And it's definitely not based on dollar amount. Ranking is based on 7 different factors that we know about, and probably even more that Etsy doesn't tell us about. Like I said, I have a complete Etsy SEO toolbox down below, though, that includes a workshop in it where I cover all 7 factors that contribute to ranking on Etsy and how you can influence each of those factors. And it is completely free, and it's not one of those lame webinar thingies that has a big sales pitch at the end where you don't learn anything. It is a workshop that I have presented to Printify, It is a workshop that I have done live at live events. It's really, really good, and it can help you a lot, especially if you need help with ranking or you don't understand how Etsy's ranking algorithm actually works.
Is it true that when your shop has 100 sales, the following sales are easier to make? That sounds like a number that an influencer made up to sound cool.
Yeah, there's no logic behind that.
Making a sale makes you rank better. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. And the more sales you get consistently and consecutively, obviously you're probably going to start to rank better.
Yeah, it's not
but
about
100 just sounds like an arbitrary goal number that somebody made up to give you a goal as a deadline.
Yeah, there's logic behind saying that when you make sales, it leads to more sales because your listing quality scores increase, your customer and marketplace experience score increases, your good standing with Etsy increases, and your overall customer trust and perception increases. However, 100 is a made up number that there's no like benchmark where Etsy says, oh, you've hit 100 sales. Congratulations. Now we're going to show you to everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, if that is true, please send me a link. I'd love to see it.
Yeah. But that's not quite how it works.
I make POD designs for businesses to print on. Oh, excuse me.
Okay. So this is back to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I charge for a license for one of those designs? Also, can I sell B2B and B2C? Okay, so this was the question you asked us during our other live stream. Again, I don't feel like I am the best person to ask this question to, Sabrina, because it's not something I've ever done. I really, really think that you should ask this question in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community, because I don't think that I'm going to be able to give you a good answer based on any experience. And I would feel more comfortable with you asking our community where there are likely sellers who do exactly what you're asking. I have a holiday ornament that sells well the past 2 years, but recently did a redesign. Should I adjust the original listing or create a new listing? If it's the same design, you can keep the same listing and just adjust the photos.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how similar it is to the original that you had listed. If it's very, very close, you're fine to just adjust the photos. But if it is essentially a new product, I would create a new listing.
Do you know how/where to complain about the additional photo that's automatically added to our listings with links to other recommended listings?
So that is a test that Etsy is doing. Not everybody has it. I don't have it anymore. I don't think that it's a bad thing. And I know that sounds, bad, but think of it like this. If somebody has gotten to the 10th photo on your listing and they still have not committed to buy and they are not convinced yet, what would be better? Them leaving your listing altogether, or them getting the option to refine their search and click on something that is closely related, hopefully to your niche or industry based on that particular listing, have them land on a search page that's closely related to things that you sell, where you might have other listings as well, where they're potentially able to discover something else that you sell. Maybe you're on that next search page as well, because, they're not being recommended searches that are, completely different from the listing that they're on. They're going to be searches closely related to that type of product. If they've gotten to the 10th photo, it's not like, think of it like this. If you're on a shopping page and you're interested in buying a product, we'll say you're on a clothing website, you're interested in a shirt and a pop-up comes up. Do you get so distracted by that pop-up that you completely forget that you were buying that shirt? No, you ignore it if you're not interested.
Unless you have ADHD like me.
But if that pop-up directs you to something that is, maybe you weren't all that in love with that shirt, but that pop-up is directing you to like a new collection of different shirts that are more like something that you would prefer to buy, you're likely to click on that and go down that rabbit hole.
Plus, we can show up on others' listings.
Yes. Exactly. So think about the fact that, you could be on all of the searches related to your competitors' listings. It's not a bad thing. And don't assume that this is something that will stay. Etsy is likely just testing this. You're free to leave them feedback, but I always like to see things from both angles. It's important to see why Etsy made this change and how it could potentially benefit you.
How many listings do you recommend we have? My niche is boho coastal jewelry. Your niche doesn't necessarily matter with how many listings that you should have, but if it's not in your shop, it's not selling. That's the rule that we kind of like to follow with that.
Yeah, there's no magical listing number. I like to see a shop that has like a nice, a full first page of products. But there's no magic number. There's YouTubers out there who say to make sure that you add a listing a day. That's bungo. That's not
bungo.
That's bungo. That's not based on anything. There's no magical algorithmic benefit to listing every single day. There's some people who say you have to have 100 listings. Again, that's bungo. There's no algorithmic benefit to having 100 listings. Now you are creating new opportunities every time you have a new listing for people to find you and discover you and search, just because every listing is a highway based on the keywords that you've used in that listing that can help someone to discover you while they're shopping. But the algorithm isn't counting how many listings you have and therefore, giving you traffic based on a specific number of listings. So I like to see one full first page of listings.
What can we do to get our shop back? Depends on what you did.
Completely depends on what you did and why you lost your shop in the first place.
Yep. If it was just the normal takedown that new shops do, just message Etsy. Usually doesn't take all that long to get your shop back. Be persistent. If you got struck down due to copyright issues, you probably won't get your shop back.
Yeah.
I have shops with 3,700 sales down to 1 sale. It doesn't make any difference other than maybe a buyer feeling confident based on numbers. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Is it a good time to start a candle business on Etsy, or do you think the market is too saturated for another one?
Okay, so if your question is, I want to make this, is the market too saturated? The answer that I'm always going to give you is no. Candles are not a niche. The type of candle that you sell is your niche. So you need to think a little bit more abstractly with your candles in terms of who you're going to appeal to and how you can make those candles stand out in a way that is unique. So for example, my favorite shops on Etsy that do candles are the shops who create candles for reading. So they're reading candles, and they'll do ones, a candle for if you're reading a romance book, or a candle that smells like a swamp. Maybe you're reading a swamp scene. Or a candle that smells like, a warm cottage. Or a candle that smells like wildflowers, because and they're all closely tied to these books so that readers can select a candle that smells like whatever they're currently reading. And you can even get licenses from, authors. We just got our first license for the new shop that we're building. Very exciting. We'll have more details on that soon. But for example, maybe, you're reading a romance book and the author has described how the main character smells. You could get a license from that author and create the scent for that particular candle that smells like, he smells like citrus and a warm ocean breeze. Well, maybe you make a candle that smells like that and you name the candle after that character. And then people who love that character are going to want to know what he smells like and they're going to buy that candle. So there are always ways to create niches around your product. You know, for example, maybe you want to create candles for dog groomers. You know what stinks? Go into a dog groomer's. Dog groomers stink. Wet dogs are funky. And there are candles that you can buy that are specifically for, you know, stinky animals. There's a whole company that I follow on social media that just makes candles to get rid of stinky dog smell. I mean, there are so many different ways that you can sell more than just candles. Think about the target audience. Candles for ambient reading. Candles for, you know, dog groomers, candles to get rid of that stinky dog smell. You know, there's so many fun ways. Candles for the perfect cottagecore aesthetic. Candles with low fragrance for those who have to have unscented candles. There's so, I could go on and on forever.
Make sure you guys get your questions in. We are out of questions. We have 20 minutes left.
Is that it? That was the last question, really?
Yeah, we're out. There's 300 of you here. It does not have to be related to the topic at hand, but we do have about 20 minutes left. I'm wondering if I should renew my Christmas listings that expired now or wait until the end of July. You might be able to catch a few last minute Christmas in July folks if you renew them now.
Yeah. I mean, it won't hurt getting them up now. I dare say that it would be fine to go ahead and renew them. Renew them and let me know how they do. I would be curious. Candle that smells like elf sweat. Exactly. See, you're getting it.
Let's see. Oh God, please give me that stinky dog candle name. I'd like to purchase some.
Oh man, I'll look it up real quick.
Man, remember that the ones I bought to prank your mom for Christmas?
Stinky candles.
Stinky candles. Oh my God, they were spot on. I got one poop smelling one and one vomit smelling one. They smelled exactly like what they said they were going to smell like.
And it was so funny because the poop one, is it fart? It's fart.
It's fart, yeah.
It's fart. He came up to my mom while over Christmas, she was talking to somebody, you know, and he just walked up and handed her the candle. And, you know, instinct, you know, if someone gives you a candle, you smell it. And she was still talking to the other family member and thought that it was like a chocolate candle and smelled it. And just immediate was like, ugh.
It's bad, man. I got the box. And before I even had a chance to like open it, you could smell it from outside the box.
I'm still looking for that candle company.
Yeah. I want to add stickers to my shop. Is there a way to have multiple design variations using POD Printify in one listing? I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Isabella, I'm not sure because I've never done it. I do use Printify, but I've never tried to do that. So, again, might be a question for the Alpha Holiday or the Alpha Holiday Boot Camp for the Handmade Alpha Facebook community.
You were reading that next question.
I was. Okay, so the name of the candle company is Sand and Paws, Sand Plus Paws. And they have really cute little like jar candles with wooden toppers with little pictures of dogs on them. Sand and Paws.
When is the boot camp?
It will be in October. And we will likely open registration for those who aren't a part of Handmade Alpha Academy. We will probably open registration early September. We did it late September last time, right during Lost Lands.
Yeah, we'll probably crank it before Lost Lands.
Yes.
What are you most excited about this year? Any excited projects? I am excited for Lost Lands. I'm really excited for that, and I'm excited for the Lorna Shore Gojira Mastodon show and all.
I'm assuming that that's not what they're asking about. They're not asking about.
I'm excited for concerts. I got a smoker. I'm excited to smoke meat.
Okay, so big projects that are coming up this year. I was invited to do a summit with Printify that you guys will be learning more about.
That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a fun one. I was invited to do a public speaking event in August for educators. Back from when I was a preschool teacher, they actually got a hold of me and are like, hey, we're holding a huge educators convention. Will you come speak at it? And I'm like, I don't teach children, I teach adults. And they're like, no, that's what we want you to talk about, starting businesses, because our educators are all like trying to start side hustles because there's no money in this industry. Can you come teach them? So I'm excited about that. The Alpha Holiday Boot Camp, that's something that you guys, if you weren't able to afford Handmade Alpha Academy, but you want a little bit of, holiday boost, that will be opening, and it's significantly cheaper than HAA. Aside from that, it's going to be a quiet rest of the year for us.
I'm so happy about that too. Last year was really busy. Is putting digital download as a keyword necessary, or does Etsy already recognize that? It's not always, I mean, as a keyword, I don't know, but in the title.
I would put it in your title so that your customers know, not just for the keyword optimization, but I would make sure that it's in your title just so customers are aware. You will show up in the digital download category, but I would definitely get it in your keywords.
And that kind of plays into the next question. Is it okay to sell downloadable art and physical art in the same shop? Yes. However, you need to make sure that you are making it blatantly obvious that one is a digital download and one is a print. Otherwise, you are going to get some negative reviews from stinky butts who don't know how to read.
Aaron said, my dog got hit by a skunk. I need it. There is a special shampoo specifically for when your dog gets hit by sprayed by a skunk. And it's called...
The thing is, I've read reviews on those, and sometimes, depending on the dog breed, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It works on some and doesn't work on others.
It's called Nature's Miracle, I think. That's what because our dog got sprayed by a skunk right after we got her.
I make wood products and struggle with complementary backgrounds for photos that don't look too busy. Any suggestions on design elements that go well with wood?
Yeah, I would recommend trying replica surfaces. Go over to Christina Nicole's channel. Can you type by Christina Nicole in the chat? Christina Nicole, she is a fantastic photography coach. Our Handmade Alpha Academy students get one of her courses for free.
Does she have an H in her name? I can't ever remember. I'm gonna have to just look it up.
I don't think she does. Remember. Yeah, just link her page or her actual YouTube. But she has fantastic staging ideas for product photography. She's got videos where she actually walks you through product photography. Replica surfaces, though, is a great option. They are a little bit expensive, but you only need one, and you could probably get a good replica surface that fits your products really nicely.
Do you know why the shop that I am just working on says open in 1969? No, but it's dope.
That's funny. Maybe contact Etsy support. That's funny though, because Etsy wasn't even a website till 2005.
What if I told you the internet wasn't a thing in 1969? So.
I would leave it.
Yeah, honestly, I would leave it. I mean, unless it might damage you, who knows? Do you think that having a shop that celebrates one season all year is a bad idea? I'm trying to create an autumn shop, but I'm not sure if sales would tank in the winter and spring.
I mean, probably will.
They'll probably go down a little bit, but you have to consider, like, if you've ever gone anywhere in the South that is a vacation area, their stuff is kind of themed in fall stuff all year round. Bears and flannel and... Right,
well, that's cabin. If you could try to incorporate things in, like cabins or woodland creatures, those are the items like that are popular year round. I would lean into the cottage core theme with mushrooms, and that way the products fit for fall, but mushrooms and cottage core and woodland creatures are popular year round.
I have a question about tags. Since we should avoid repeating words and tags, what if we run out of combinations of search phrases that actually make sense?
They don't need to make sense. Sometimes if you need to get some extra words in there, you got to consider Etsy's going to broad match in every combination. So it doesn't matter if every tag makes sense. It also doesn't matter if you want to repeat a word for the sake of getting a really good exact match. So for example, if you find that greeting card and birthday card are both just stellar keywords, and you really want to exact match for both of those terms, but you would need to repeat the term card. It's okay to do it a few times. You're just not getting any extra brownie points for repeating the word card, over and over and over again. But if you find two just irresistible, amazing search terms that you really want to rank for, totally fine to aim for an exact match and repeat a word every once in a while.
Do you have any insider thoughts in tying to your shop for 2 Square, 4 craft fairs and stuff, etc.?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. You can get the Etsy card reader that syncs directly to your Etsy shop, and it will deduct from your shop's actual, inventory, which can take a lot of work out of the process. But you didn't really ask a specific question, so I'm not sure what you want to know. But I do know that the card reader that you can get, that syncs to your Etsy shop. I haven't personally used it. They didn't have it when I did my last event, so I had to, just use a standard square card reader. But I don't see any issue with it. Feel free to get more specific.
I'm working on a fall and Christmas collection. How many products would you suggest for a collection? Enough for it to be a collection.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of 10. 10's a fun number. But if you can only do 5, that's fine. If you
7's another fun number that people tend to like.
Yeah, 10 is my favorite.
7, 10, 12, 15.
Yeah.
Numbers that you usually see on sales and corporate stuff. There's a reason for that.
Now, I wouldn't do like 40 or 50. That's starting to get a little crazy.
No, that's too many. Unless you're like a supply seller or something like that, that makes a little bit more sense. I sold a Christmas item last night that was my best seller during Q4. Should I advertise now or wait? Hard to say.
I mean, that's up to you. I would... For social media, I'm a big fan of waiting at least until October to start advertising for Christmas. But keep an eye on it. Definitely keep an eye on it because, it's a good sign that there are people who are starting to think about Christmas early. It's really up to you, though.
They said with Death Clock. Death Clock isn't playing at the show that I'm going to, unfortunately. Lorna Shore is the special guest for mine. A lot of people excited about the meat.
Brisket.
Doing a tri-tip today. This is an HAA question. Is it better to have an evergreen product or what is trending?
Trends are fleeting. You can do both.
You sure can.
Trends, momentary trends aren't the best. For example, Bernie Sanders mittens. That was a trend for like a whole minute, and everybody was obsessed with Bernie Sanders big fuzzy mittens. And then that trend died off and now nobody's looking for Bernie Sanders mittens. So there are trends that stick around for a while. For example, mermaids have been trending for the last few years. Cottage core mushrooms, those have been trending for the last few years. You can create an evergreen product that is still trendy without it being one of those only lasts for a minute trends. So my advice is to attempt to get yourself balanced right in the middle. You can make something trendy, but if it's something that a celebrity said, for example, everybody made the Mega Pint products with the, was it, Johnny Depp, the Mega Pint? Yeah. And now that's like not a thing anymore.
How come Bubbers is showbiz, but the other pets are so shy? Bubbers is showbiz, and the other pets have abuse issues from before we got them.
Yeah.
So they're standoffish. Toots isn't so bad anymore, but she doesn't like being picked up.
And Amy, she came from like an Amish farm, puppy mill environment. We didn't know that
until I had already driven almost 4 hours to get her.
Yeah.
How do you increase your creativity when you hit rock bottom in general?
You take a break. You take a day off. You give yourself a self-care day. You relax. You give your brain the time that it needs to recoup. And then you motivate yourself and you game yourself up in whatever way you find works best for you. For example, if that is listening to a motivational podcast or watching a Friday Bean or watching, whoever your favorite YouTubers are, watch some videos. If it's listening to some music that gets you pumped up, listen to music. If it's turning on, an ambient, like ASMR type thing with, for example, Christmas ASMR is really popular, Christmas vibes. You can turn something like that on. Do what you need to do that works for you. Everybody has something different that motivates them. For example, I will occasionally take nootropics when my brain just won't give me any words because that tends to help me. Or I drink one of Mark's G Fuels. Those help a lot.
Sponsorship opportunity, G Fuel.
Yeah, for real, G Fuel.
Or Gamer Subs. The Gamer Subs tends to be better. Is Mark still working on that new design idea he talked about several months ago? Yes, we put it aside. It is still just an idea at the moment, though. We have so many other projects and things we're all working on at the same time. We're busy people.
We put that one aside, and then I started a different one. So I do have another Etsy shop coming, but the new Etsy shop that I'm going to be talking about more recently is not the one that he and I were going to start.
I mean, in consideration that we have all of our current active projects, she has her side projects with her book and the shop that she's working on. I'm also a musician who does solo music. I do music with a band. I'm learning how to DJ. I've got a lot of my own projects as well. I'm not going to read that because that has a word I probably cannot read.
But that's a good
yes,
tip.
but it's because it's vinegar base.
Yeah.
If you both made to order and ready ship listings, do you think it's a good idea to separate those into different shop sections?
Sure.
Yeah. Why not? Don't see why it could hurt.
Yeah, different shop sections are going to help shoppers to identify. Yeah, absolutely. Cabin core.
Questions. The Google info on eRank, I still don't understand what the number means. What Google info specifically?
So do you mean, are you talking about when you're in the keyword tool and you can see the number of Google searches versus the number of Etsy searches on the graph, the search trend graph? I mean, really, I usually turn the Google one off because I don't care about Google. But if that's what you're talking about, it's literally just telling you what searches on Google for that term look like compared to the searches on Etsy. And you know, that trend graph is going based on 15 months worth of historical data. So you're able to see backwards the past 15 months. And that's really useful because if you see that, for example, people last year started searching for Halloween decor in June, well, that tells you that Halloween decor needs to be listed in June, right? So it's almost like a time machine that can help you to predict the future. But it's just telling you that people are searching for those things on Google.
When do you sleep? Right now from about 1 a.m. to about 9 a.m.
8? We don't get up at 8. Don't lie.
I got up at 7 today.
Only because someone knocked and then you went right back to sleep.
It's because Lowe's called me at 7:30 in the morning like a bunch of psychopaths. I'll take a look at the eRank instruction for the new Google Analytics transition, but if I don't get it done today, can it still be done after the July 1st deadline?
Yeah, you aren't missing anything by updating later on. Don't panic. It's just going to start collecting data, you know, when you start it up. So you might have a small gap in your data in between, you know, July 1st and whenever you start it up.
What are good evergreen niches?
Oh, there's so many.
So many. Weddings is a good one.
Absolutely.
People always going to be getting married.
Yeah.
Holidays.
Weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, things that aren't, you know, to do with a holiday, things that happen.
Things that don't go away.
Yeah, things that don't go away. Those are all great niches. And then you can niche into those niches. So weddings, well, maybe weddings that are themed around
dark boudoir. Since that's a niche this year.
I was thinking like Vegas, like going to Vegas.
Vegas weddings.
Vegas,
those
getting married. Work out
great.
Or a beach wedding, I think would be a good one. There's so many. Nature wedding, forest wedding. Those are niches within, you know, an industry.
Okay, last question. With the 4th of July versus 4th, as in the number of July titles, would you use both, or is it okay to pick one that ranks higher than maybe use the other in tags?
That's what I would do.
Yeah, that's what I would probably do. However, it is already too late to be selling 4th of July stuff.
Yeah.
Way too late.
Unless you're selling digital downloads.
Yeah.
That would be a little bit different, but I hope you're not just now listing 4th of July, or maybe this is a question for next year, just so you know, for next year how to do it. But yeah.
Mornings are the worst. Vampire for life. My body naturally wants to go to bed about 4 a.m. and wake up at about 11.
Because he was night shift in the military for so long.
Yep. But that's all we have time for. I appreciate you guys stopping out to see us here on our website, YouTube.
Yes, we own this website, youtube.com.
The owner of YouTube. We will have, don't shut us down, YouTube. We will have another video on Tuesday. She will be on eRank's channel on Thursday next week. And we'll be here again next Friday for another live stream every week. Yes, this is taped, recorded before a live studio audience, and will be available for review if you're getting here late.
Down below though, if you're new here, because I know that we always have newbies in the chat. All the freebies are down there. I've got so many free resources. There's a 30-day Instagram challenge kit. If you don't know how to market on Instagram, or you don't know how to build a consistent schedule for your Instagram marketing, that is going to be really helpful. It comes with PDFs and downloads. It's a 30-day challenge that you can start literally anytime, but because tomorrow is the 1st, that would be a great time to start it, you know, and let me know how it does for, you know, all of July. There is the Etsy SEO toolbox that comes with a workshop that's going to teach you how Etsy's algorithm works. It's going to come with step-by-step tutorials on how to do your Etsy tags and titles and keyword research. It comes with bunch of, different videos to help you decide if your SEO is working, what to do if your SEO isn't working. And then what other freebies? There's the marketing calendars are down below. Obviously we're already halfway through the year, but the 2023 marketing calendars are going to be really important for the holiday season because they're going to answer a lot of these questions when you guys are like, when do I get these types of products in my shop? The marketing calendars are something that you can just have hanging up in your office, and then you'll know exactly when you should start preparing for, whatever you need to prepare for, whether it be new collection launches, giveaways, having sales to clear out, excess seasonal inventory. Those are all included with those calendars. So there's more stuff down there as well. I just can't remember offhand. So be sure to check that stuff out. And
we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye. We don't have an end screen anymore, so you got to keep waving. I forgot that we're not doing the Handmade Alpha Academy thing anymore. We're not doing that one. Okay. No. So we'll just wave for